Before I continue, I cannot refrain myself from mentioning a beautiful scene. There is a mother in front of me, and on the other side is the father, and in the middle is the son. The family vice has come on our phone call, and they are very, very aesthetically positioned in the gallery. We can see them. Here is our Tsifi, here is our George, and there is Hari Prasad in the middle. Wonderful. It is a darshan of a lifetime which we have here. Imagine the following scenario. You are walking on a forest path. The dusk is settling in, and the birds of spring are chirping very beautifully. All of a sudden, your leisure is almost violently disturbed. You hear in a little distance a call, help. And then a little later, with even more anguish, save me. Would you not do anything in your capability to rush to the help of this victim? The brave-hearted amongst us would rush through the forest and pick up a stick while they are following the sound. And those who are maybe not as bold would immediately get on the mobile telephone and alarm people who could help, like the police or so on. Why do these short words, these small words, help and later save me, have such an impact that you're dropping anything and everything what you are just now doing? The reason is that they are words which are on fire, so to say. They are not spoken in a lackadaisical way. They are spoken with the whole body, mind and heart behind it. These words have heights, they have depths, they have, how would you say this, width, all, and they have also length. This is what an old expression for where the art of prayer is described. A prayer with which we call out for help or we call out to God has to have heights. That means we have to put everything into. We have to be sure that we are that the words which we say are meaningful to us. A good prayer or good chanting has to have depths also. That means you should be aware of who you are and who the Lord is. I like this part very much in the prayer which we heard. He says, Narottam says, I'm plunged amidst the violent hurricane-stricken waves in the ocean of this material world from which there is no escape. Kindly give me the gift of your divine lotus feet, which are compared to a boat in which your servant may cross over the ocean of birth and death. He puts his knowledge, his deep knowledge into this song. That yes, I'm a tiny little soul. I find myself in a world that is sometimes overwhelming, almost like a swimmer or a person who has fallen into the ocean finds himself at odds, confronted with waves and with an incredibly deep mass of water, so that he knows, I can't navigate my way out on my own. I require help. When today I spoke to some devotees, and I said the main problem which we have is we are not really able to chant with the highest, that means with all what we have, and with the depths, that is with enough awareness of ourselves and our situation in the world. If we would, then we would also have no problem in chanting with width. Width means we are not just mindful of our situation, but we look left and right, where we see other living entities who also require help. No? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement is not supporting selfishness. It is encouraging that we take care of other people, as many as possible. Even the person which we meet on the street, we can give him a good, encouraging glance, and like this we can certainly do it. And length in prayer means be patient. Pray long enough, chant long enough. Don't think or expect that it has to be answered in just the way you want immediately at this time. Have some patience, some length. Yes, this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's gift. He chanted, and as he chanted with the many people around him, he was able, because he's the Lord, to immediately bring them to a level where they would really have heights and all dimensions, in other words, of their beings were used and were taken up in the chanting. Once Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this was during the end of his pastime, sat on the ocean, not on the ocean, near the ocean, on the beach. This was one of his favorite places in Jagannath Puri. He would go to the beach and sit there for a long time. Why? Because the ocean which he saw reminded him of Vrindavan. In the later portion of his life, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took everything he saw, even a forest or a sand dune, as an udipan, an impulse to immediately go with his consciousness to Vrindavan, where his beloved Krishna was. So this one occasion which I would like to share with you, but something very important for me happened. A devotee approached the Lord, and after seeing that the Lord was in a state of consciousness where he responded to questions and of his devotees, after seeing that he would not intrude the private space, he asked a question. This question had been on his mind for a long time. The devotee's name was Krishna Das, servant of Krishna. And he asked, my dear Lord, I see that some of your devotees are so quickly advancing, but I also see that others are slow. What is the reason? They do exactly the same thing. They have exactly the same practice of chanting japa. I think you remember that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at that time requested all of his devotees to chant a minimum of 64 rounds a day. So I see they are all doing this. They have love for you and they're following you, but some make so much advancement in such a short time and change and transform their beings so much, but others are not. What is the reason? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said it's a matter of faith. When you have faith in the chanting, then it works very fast. When you don't have so much faith, it works also, but it works slower. And when you have faith in what you do, you will be sure that you bring the 4 dimensions with you. You really understand. I sit down now, and this is now something where I please Krishna. It's a relationship to Krishna. You bring also depth in your chanting. I'm a tiny soul here in this world. Even my own thoughts are strangers to me. I'm originally a soul who goes now through a very human experience, but whatever goes on there in the neuropaths, pathways, whatever goes there according to my sanskaras, my impressions, are conditioned. It is imposed upon my spiritual quality. And my duty now is, or my work now is, to make these thoughts as transparent and as real as possible by increasing the spiritual fire in me, or the spiritual acumen, the spiritual volume of my life, so that I will pervade all this with a soul quality, with its essence, essential qualities. So a chanter will go back. He will go back. He will even go back a little bit more, where he comes into what the Sanskrit literature describes as the Chakshit Vena position, a position of observing his thoughts and his body like you would observe something on a movie screen, for instance. When such a chanter gets angry, he will say, "It's interesting, my mind feels anger." You know, he doesn't identify. He is removed from this. Depth, you need some depth. I gave some examples of a chanter and how he thinks, but there are many other ways to think about your ontological position, your real position as a soul. And then, I'm not sure what this is. Yes, then as we go through the chanting of the holy name, we also should see that others have benefit. And never, this is the last point, become impatient. Just the Lord will act in His own time, and He will know what is best to act. These are some symptoms of faith. Faith arises in the heart when you purify the heart. A pure heart has faith in pure things, an impure heart has trust that other things will help him or her. So therefore the chanting is described by Mahaprabhu as a process to clean or clear the heart, that the real qualities of the soul come out. Narottam Das Thakur is the author of the song which we have all sung, is a very, very wonderful soul who gives us a lot of good examples how to chant. I want to now end this session, which lasts for another 8 minutes, with chanting of Kirtan. Then I want to say we will have an Aratik ceremony. You will see Goloka Dham you will see the deities of Goloka Dham. I see there's also Balaji, who was initiated before these very deities. They will come now into your home in New York in a little moment, and they will be there for all of you. And then from 6:30 to 7:45 we will have the last session. We will open the session with another song, a very, very, very powerful song which we will sing. And then after 7:45 we will be able to take some prasadam. You in New York have to wait. That is the curse of being a New Yorker. You have to wait on Gaura Purnima.